Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's expert webinar titled Networking in AWS. I am Abhishek from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider. I will be your moderator for today's session. In today's session, we have Mr. Parul Kundra with us, a prominent figure in the world of cloud computing and AWS. With an illustrious career spanning over 15 years, he boasts a remarkable list of qualifications and accomplishments. Mr. Kundra's skill set extends to SQL and PLSQL, demonstrating his prowess in database management. He is also a proficient problem solver using Python, C, and C++, and have a solid grasp of data structures, showing his versatility in the world of programming and technology. Having conducted over 100 AWS corporate training sessions, Mr. Kundra specializes in preparing individuals for certifications such as Solution Architect, Advanced Architect, Cloud Practitioners, and System Operations Associate. His training methods are renowned for their effectiveness. In today's webinar, Mr. Parul Kundra will let us know about IP addressing and CIDR notation, VPC fundamentals, advanced networking concept. To all the participants, you can mention your questions in the chat box and it will be answered at the end of the session. Without further ado, let's start today's session. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Parul Kundra to start the session. Over to you, Mr. Parul.
Thank you, Abhishek. So I will welcome all for this webinar, Networking in AWS, as Abhishek already gave my introduction. So thank you, Abhishek, for this. And we are going to talk on networking in AWS, where I'll be having an agenda, IP addressing, virtual private cloud VPC, what is VPC, and what are fundamentals behind VPC, and we'll be talking on VPC traffic security as well. So in order to secure traffic in VPC. So considering a basic, I will move to other parts and will then move to virtual private cloud, how to create virtual private cloud in AWS in a cloud, and then will, if after creation of AWS virtual private cloud, how we can talk on security. Fine. So keeping all these three topics in my mind, I have a lot of content with me in front, which you can see in front of you. So I'm scrolling through the slides, fine, so that you can see what I'm going to cover. I'll be talking on CIDR. I'll be talking on CIDR means classless interdomain routing. I'll be talking on IP addressing. I'll be talking on CIDR supported by AWS in VPC. I'll be having a complete agenda where I'll be talking on VPC. In VPC, I'll be talking on subnets, internet gateway, and a route table. And we'll be talking on VPC as said, subnets, internet gateway, route table, and we'll be talking on VPC traffic security. But I totally respect that we have a content. I have a content for you, but going with a basic understanding, I'm starting from scratch in a whiteboard, so that I will be able to connect you with a real-time world. So let's start the first topic, and the first topic which we have today for discussion is IP addressing. Just give me 1 minute. Thank you so much. So we'll be starting on IP addressing. So we'll be starting on IP addressing. So if I have to talk on IP addressing, let me put one question in front of you. And the question is 192.168.0.0/24. And if this is the question I'm asking from you, that, hey, if this is the question, then what is this representing? First question. And how many IPs I can create? So the second question is, how many IPs I can create with this. So the answer of this question is this is nothing but cider. This is nothing but cider, classless inter-domain routing, and we can create 256 IPs. Now, if you're new to this, that hi, hey, hi, you can say that it is creating 256 IP. Can you please give me an idea how you can say on this? So let's start on the same. So the question is in front of you, answer is in front of you, but how we are achieving to this answer, we'll talk on that. So let's talk on a normal IP. So if I talk about an IP, so we are going to talk on IP version 4, which have something like 192.168.3.25 is a IP version 4 IP. And IP version 4 IP has total 32 bits. Okay. Now, if it has 32 bits, means 8 bits, dot 8 bits, dot 8 bits, and dot 8 bits. But you say, Parul, I cannot see that it's 8-bit, it's 3-bit only. No, 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 it's not 3 bits. It's a decimal notation. Actually, it's a decimal, it's not in a bits. So total we have 32 bits. So how to write in a bit? So if I have to write same IP in bits, so you know, I'll take you to the binary numbers. So the first binary number is 2 to the power 0, then second is 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 3, and 4, then 5, then 6, and then 7. Why only 7? Because we are talking on 8 bits only. So 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, and then we have 32, then 64, and then 128. Okay, then if I have to write what? If I have to write 25, so if I have to write 25 in binary, so what is 25? 16 will be high. If I have to write 0 in binary in 8 digits, so all the digits will be 0. So all the 8 digits will be 0, and it is representing 0. But I have to write 25. So how will I write 25? So 25, I'll be writing 16 and 8, 24, and 1, 25. Remaining all the digits will be 0. So all the digits will, this is representing 25. And if I have to write 3, how will I be representing 3? So 3, 2, and 1, 3. Remaining all the digits will be 0. This is where I can write 3. Similarly, if I have to write 168, then 128, 64, I cannot take it because it will be more than 168. So 128 plus 32, 160, and 18. This is not 1, this is nothing but 168. So this is simply 168. And if all the bits are high, if all the bits are high, then this is nothing but 255. Means if I add all the bits, 128 plus 64 plus 32, whatever, I'll get 255. So this shows that I will never have. So if all the 8 bits, so now this is 8 bits. This is what 8 bits. This is what 8 bits. This is a decimal of that 8 bit. Now if all the 8 bits, if all the 8 bits are high, then we'll reach to 225, 255. Means we will not see any IP having 192.321. It is practically not possible. How can 321 come? If all the digits are high also, we can go maximum till 255. Like if I talk about time, then time we have 1058, then 1059, and then after 1059 we cannot see 1060. We see 10 after 1059, it becomes 00, and the time becomes 11, 12, whatever it is. Similarly, in this fashion, we have IPs. Okay, now, so we got an idea of IP in 32 bits. So, but Parul, come back to your original question. Your question was, what is this? I said, this is called CIDR, classless inter-domain routing. And you said that via this CIDR, I can create 256 IPs. So what is the meaning of this and how you are coming to this answer? So the answer of this question is /24 means I am blocking first 24 bits. So total there are how many bits? 32 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, 16 bits, and 8. So I'm blocking this bits means this bits cannot be changed. So this 24 bits cannot be changed. Only this 8 bits, these are 8 bits, can be changed. So if it is changing, it may change from 0 to 255. It may change from 0 to 255, means from 0 to 255, how many IPs I can create? I can create total 256 IPs. Means if let's say a company is choosing a CIDR 192.168.0.0/24. So for that company, this is not going to be changed. Every devices in that company organization will have a same three digits. 192.168.0 will be same for all the devices, but this digit will keep on changing from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3, and last it will be 255. So total I can create how many IPs? 255. Now the question again comes, hey Mr. Kundra, do you think that I'm going to do so many calculations to find the IPs? I said no, not required. You have a simple formula. You can go with a formula 2 to the power 32 minus n, where n is written something after slash. So after slash is what? 24. So you put it in a formula 2 to the power 32 minus 24, which is nothing but 2 to the power 8, and 2 to the power 8 is nothing but 256. 256. So either you calculate it by like this, or you put it in a formula. Let me give you one more cider. 10.0.0.0 slash slash, let's say 20. So if it is 20, so formula is 2 to the power 32 minus 20, which is nothing but 2 to the power 12, and 2 to the power 12 is nothing but 4096. So simple. Now you are very simply, you can explain how many IPs we can create in this CIDR. There is a IP called 172.172.31.0.0, and CIDR is /16. How many IPs I can create? Simple formula. 2 to the power 32 minus 16, which is 2 to the power 16, is nothing but 65,536 IPs I can create. Now, having idea of IP and CIDRs, so I have an idea of IP and CIDR. Now, why, Mr. Kundra, why you are teaching me this? You called us here for something else. I said yes, but the base is this only. So now we are moving to a real world scenario. So we are moving to a real world scenario called VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Before that, let me give you one analogy. Let's say I am a broker and my job is to sell a land. When I'll be selling a land for people, those who want to construct their home from scratch. So this is me, you can consider, and you can consider this is as yourself. When you will come to me and say, hey Parul, I'm looking to buy a land. So my question from you will be, what is the size of land you are looking for? And let's say, Parul, I'm looking for a land of size 1024 square feet. I say, yeah, wow, you are standing in front of a land which is of size 1024 square feet. So you say, okay, thank you so much, so I'm going to have a land. Similarly, exactly in the same sense, when you purchase a land in a cloud, that is not a land, that is called virtual private cloud. So when you create land, or when you create a isolated space in a cloud, then again you have to specify the size. But unfortunately, my friends, this size is not in square feet, meter, or anything. This size is in CIDR. So whenever I'll create a VPC, let's say I'm creating a SpringPeople VPC. So SpringPeople VPC, I have to give a size, and the size is in CIDR. So I say 192.168.0.0/16, means /16 means 2 to the power 32 minus 16, which is 2 to the power 16, is nothing, means 65,536 IPs inside this VPC I can create. Okay, so hope now you getting an idea why I explained you CIDR. So I explained you CIDR because when you are creating VPC, you have to specify the size. If you can specify the size in square feet, that is best, but we cannot. So we have to have an understanding of CIDR. Okay, so after having an understanding of CIDR, we created a VPC. Now coming back to the original analogy, now you purchase a land. What do you do with your land? You start constructing your home. Now you ask me, hey Parul, I said yes, what happened? Parul, I am planning to construct a home. I said, please, I cannot help you, but I know one constructor who can help you. I know one constructor who can help you to create your home. So you will talk to your constructor. The constructor will again ask you a question. Sir, this is your land. Yes, I purchased this land from Parul. Okay, so how many rooms you are looking for creating in this land? So you say, I'm looking for 2 rooms. Okay, 2 rooms. Okay, which 2 rooms? One my personal room and one my guest room. Because next day when Parul comes, I can offer him a cup of tea. Okay, that's great. Then again, the constructor will ask the same question. So size of your personal room and size of your guest room. So you say, oh, size of my personal room 512 square feet and my guest room 512 square feet. So what he'll do, he'll create 2 rooms for you. One will be your personal room, which is of 512 square feet. Second, similarly, your guest room of 512 square feet. Exactly in the same sense, when we come to a cloud, we create rooms, and that rooms are called subnets. So I'll be creating subnet for you. So what am I going to create? I'm going to create subnet. So I created one subnet, I created another subnet. So you have to give a name of subnet, like we have a room names: personal room, child room, kids room, parents room. So we have a subnet name. Let's say it's a public subnet, and this is a private subnet. Now I have to give a size. So I'm giving a size 10.0.0.0/20. So slash 20 means what? 2 to the power 32 minus 20, which is nothing but 2 to the power 12, which is 4096. But okay, 40. But major question is, can I take it 10.0? Never, because slash 16 means this is blocked. If this is blocked, how can you change this CIDR? So you cannot. You always have to start from 192.168. It will show that you purchased land in India or in another country and constructing a home in another country. So it will not allow you. So it will start from 192.168. All these things I'm going to show you practically. Similarly, you create a private subnet, let's say 192.168.16.0/20. So you create private subnet of same size 4096. So still you have 65,000 IPs. And from 5,000 IPs, 65,000 IP, you are only consuming 496 plus 496 IPs. You still have lot of IPs left with you. You can create more subnets. That is up to you. You can create. Now, no, I will not go further. I will start developing your understanding technically. Let's start developing your understanding technically. So I'll be starting to develop your understanding technically. Let's do it. Let me keep all these things here only, and let's go to AWS. So I have my AWS account. This is my AWS account where I am inside Mumbai, or you can go to n number of regions. In AWS, we are in 32 regions in the world. As of today, I'm teaching you, there is 32 regions. What will happen tomorrow, I will not commit, but yes, till today we have 32 regions, 4 in United States and 2 in India, Hyderabad, Mumbai, like this, Singapore and all. So I'm selecting Mumbai. Whatever regions you want, you can select. It's up to you. So I'm selecting Mumbai. And what am I going to do? So I'm going to create one VPC. So I'll go to a service called VPC. So I'll type in a search bar VPC. So isolated cloud resource. Oh, great. So I'll click on VPC. I'm inside VPC. So I'm inside a VPC. Now, as I said, so I have to create VPC. So I'll click on create VPC. So I have to start from scratch. So I'll select VPC only. So name you have to give. So I'm creating SpringPeople VPC. People VPC. Okay, fine. And I have to give the size. As I told you, that size is not in square feet and square meters. That size is in CIDR. Now, very important question coming back. Let me tell you, my dear friend, AWS support. So you can make a note of it. AWS support CIDRs from /16 to /28. That you cannot choose any CIDR less than 16, and you cannot use any CIDR more than 28. So all these things I have already mentioned in my slides, but wanted to show you technically. So I'm showing you technically that you have a proper understanding. So these are AWS CIDR supported ranges. Coming back to the console. So here I'm in a console and I'm going to create SpringPeople VPC, and I have to give the size. And as I said, the size is in CIDR, not in square feet. So I'm choosing 192.168. Anything you can choose a public CIDRs. So, and you can read this. It is supported /16 to /28 .0.0/20 16. So I'm creating a VPC of site 16, means 65,000 IPs. And now let me click on create VPC, and you can see that a VPC is created. When you click on VPC, you can see one SpringPeople VPC is created. Now I will create what? Rooms. And rooms are nothing but subnets. So I'll click on subnets. So I'll click on subnets. I'll click on subnet. I'll click on create subnet. Okay. So it is asking, hey, Mr. Kundra, for which VPC? I said, oh, VPC, SpringPeople VPC. This is my land. Inside this land. Okay. So land have a this side? Oh, yes, yes, 100%. So what is your room name? My room name is public subnet. Okay, subnet, fine. So I make it as a SpringPeople public subnet, SpringPeople public subnet. Okay, so now every regions has availability zones. So Mumbai has 3 availability zones. So I'm selecting one. So selected one, AP South 1A, and this availability zones has data center. And as I told you that you cannot take 10.0.0.0/20. So /20, it is clearly showing you 4096 IP, but can I take 10.0? Let me prove you this also. If you click on create, it is showing you, hey, CIDR address is not within the CIDR address of your VPC. Your VPC is something different and you are choosing something different. Please don't do like this. I said, okay, thank you. So I'm not going to do that. I will only follow 192.168. This is what I wanted to go. Now I'll create a VPC subnet. So I'll click on create subnet. So one subnet is created in a VPC, SpringPeople VPC. I'll create one more subnet. So which VPC? SpringPeople VPC. What is the subnet name? So the subnet name is SpringPeople public, now private subnet. So private, PRIVAT, private subnet. So I'll be choosing that. Okay. Now any availability zone preference. So Mumbai has 3. So for second subnet, I'm choosing second availability zone. So what is the size? I say 192.168.16.0/20. I'm choosing. So again, 4096 IPs. Okay, so let me click on create subnet. So one more subnet created. So what I did till now, let me write this for you. So just give me 1 minute. Okay, let me click on my pen, which I can write on my console also. So this is my pen, which will help me to write. So what I did till now, I created one SpringPeople VPC, SP VPC, having a CIDR 192.168.0.0/16. Inside that, I have created 2 subnets, one public subnet and one private subnet. So I created SpringPeople public subnet and I created SpringPeople private subnet. For this, I have given a CIDR 192.168.0.0/16/20, having 4096 IPs. And for this, I have chosen 192.168.16.0/20, that is 4096. So this is what I did till now. So if I show you all the subnets, so you can see, so I have 2 subnets with me. So SpringPeople public subnet, SpringPeople private subnet. So this is in front of you. Let's go further. So I'm going further and I'm talking on something more. So let's go to the presentation again. So the presentation again, I'm going to talk on public subnet. So just giving a name public, nothing become public. So giving a name, nothing become public. They are private only. So you have to give a entry of internet gateway. So what is this new fancy term, Mr. Kundra, you are introducing? A new fancy term is nothing. Let me give you one question. You have a room, you have a home, yes. How you go out from your home? How people come to your home? You have a gate, you have a door. So if you have a gate, you have a door, only then your home is public. Otherwise, it is private only. Similarly, just merely by giving a name public, they are not public, they are private only. So what I have to create? I have to create internet gateway. So I'll be creating internet gateway. So I'll be creating SpringPeople internet gateway and I'll be attaching it with VPC. Now this has a internet gateway SpringPeople, but do I know that my home has gate now, door now? I have to inform it. So for informing, we have a route tables. So for informing, we have a route table. So I'll go to route table. So I'll show you, I'm going to show you route table. So I'm creating a route table for public subnet, and I'm going to create a route table for private subnet. Now what is this? I'm going to tell you. So route table has 2 columns. basically two columns. So what these two columns are, let me tell you. So route table has two columns. One column is called target and one column is called destination. Destination. Similarly, route table, whether it is a public or private route, it has same columns, target and destination. So I'm saying that, so for public route table, I'm writing an entry that target local and destination 192.168.0.0/16. And for private route table, again, I'm writing local and 192.168.0.0/16. Hey, Mr. Kundra, what you are trying to write, I'm not able to understand. Exactly. What I'm trying to say is that for both of them, their destination is only this. So for both of them, their destination is this. Either it is a public subnet or a private subnet, their destination. They can talk locally. So they are talking locally. So locally inside this, they are talking. But you said that public can go out also via internet gateway. I said absolutely correct. Via public subnet can go out via internet gateway. So I will have one more entry in public route table. What? The entry is SpringPeople Internet Gateway. Via SpringPeople Internet Gateway, public subnet will go outside. And what is outside IP called? 0.0.0/0. Means I'm not blocking any bits. It's a internet. So this is what. Okay. Now, Parul, is it done? No. Once you create route table, you attach that route table to a subnet. If you attach this route table to a subnet, then it will create entry of internet gateway. If you attach this route table with this subnet, it will create an entry with this. But I will go with naming convention. I'm making public as a public, so I will attach this route table with this only. So how? I'm going to show you. So let's go to console again. So I'm keeping all these things right now here itself, and I'm going to talk on console again. So we did something in a console. Yes, we did something. Till now we completed. Now I'm going to create what? I'm going to create one internet gateway for you. This internet gateway. Hey, why you are creating internet gateway, SpringPeople internet gateway over here? Why not here? So I say whatever I do has a meaning. So please see what meaning I'm saying. So you go to internet gateway. Okay. You click on create internet gateway. Okay. You give a name of internet gateway, SpringPeople IGW, or whatever name you wanted to give, you can give. Let's create internet gateway. Internet gateway is created, but what? It is detached. That's why the figure I created something detached. What I have to do? Attach. Go to action. Click on attach to VPC. Which VPC? SpringPeople VPC. Wow. Let me click on attach VPC. Now I'm changing my figure. So I'm changing my diagram from here to here. If I changing my diagram from here to here, so okay, so Parul, now this subnet has become public. I said no, they are still private. Can you prove this? I said yes, I can prove you. You click on subnet. Okay, you click on subnet. You click on, first click on private subnet. Okay, then here you have a complete detail of your subnet. You click on route table. So see, route table has only one entry. So I'm totally at bottom. So it can talk locally inside its home. This is home. Or if you go to, okay, Parul, this is obvious. It is a private. But what about public? I say again, public is private only. It's not public. Right now, it's not public. By attaching internet gateway, they will not become public. You can see it has only one entry. Locally, it is talking inside his home only. So Parul, how to make them public? I said, first you go and create route table. So you go to route table and you create one route table. So what you can do, one route table automatically come, that is called main route table. But my job is to teach you from scratch. So I'm teaching you basic networking. So what you do, you give a route table name. So you give SpringPeople public subnet route table. For which VPC? For SpringPeople VPC. Okay. So when you click on create route table, one entry automatically coming. But I want one more entry because it's a route table for public subnet. So click on edit routes. Okay. Now go to add routes. Okay. So what is the destination? Parul, destination is to go out via so many options, but via internet gateway, Parul. Oh, I said which internet gateway? Yeah, Parul, SpringPeople internet gateway. I said click on save changes, and you are done. So Parul, that's great. So Parul, my subnet has become public. I say I'm so sorry. Your subnet is still private only. But Parul, you created route table. Creating route table is not enough. You have to attach route table. So now you go to subnet association and click on added subnet association. Now you have two subnets, one public and one private, for which I have created route table public. So it's obvious, go to attach with public. So I selected public and saved the association. Parul, is my subnet become public now? I said 100%. Go to subnet. Okay. Click on first private subnet so that I can show you a difference. So click on private subnet and click on route table of private subnet. It has only one entry. Locally it is talking. But if I go to public subnet, and if I click on route table of public subnet, you will be good to see that, oh, Parul, I can see that it has two entry. It can talk locally also, and via internet gateway, it can go outside. I said, absolutely correct. So you are absolutely correct. So I hope I tried my level best to explain you what is IP, what is CIDR, what is virtual private cloud, what is subnet, what is route table, and what is internet gateway. So I tried my level best to explain you this concept so that you have an idea now how what is the meaning of virtual private cloud. It's nothing but an isolated space. So I started from IP addressing, then I went to CIDR. I started from IP addressing, I went to CIDR. I explained you in a layman term what is IP, and then I explained you how to calculate number of IPs. I told you what is the meaning of CIDR and why we have to understand CIDR. Then using the same concept, I created VPC, I created subnet, I created internet gateway, I created route table, and I attached a route table with a subnet, and now this subnet has an entry to go out. Okay, fine. So let's go and see some presentations now. I made you comfortable to understand presentations now. Fine. So let's go and see the presentation. So I talk about IP addressing. So this is our IP addresses. So now is it something type 16, where this is representing your network and this is representing your host. Okay. And if I talk about this, where this is blocked, I think you can understand this is of 8 type, even though not supported by AWS, but it is of 8 type, where 192 is fixed, remaining anything can vary. Similarly, if I talk about this is our IP. Now I told you about CIDR, classless interdomain routing. So this is a CIDR, and I told you that /16 means it reserved first 16 bits. So you can read it, /16 reserved first 16 bits for network identification. I don't know for which company you work with. So let's say if you're working with TCS, so you have employee ID TCS 1057. So the first 3 character is representing, oh, you belong from TCS, or let's say you belong to any HCL. So like this, these two the two fixed numbers representing a CIDR, find a network, and this represent the host. And I also explained you the meaning of 3, how you can write 3 in binary, 1 1, no? So this is what 2 to the power 0, which is 1 2 4 8 16 and 32 and 64 and 128. Fine. So now this is 3, and this is what, so this is 1 2 4 1 2 4 8 16. So 16 and 16 and 4 20, so it's 20. So I tried my level best to explain you this also. Then I told you that what CIDRs are supported by AWS, so which is nothing but /16 pro 2 from /28, which is a standard from AWS. We also talked on VPC, we also talked on subnets, we talked on internet gateway and route table, we already completed. So my way of teaching is to first show you, give you the knowledge, and then give you the slides. So now what is VPC? Provide logical isolation. Yeah. What is your home? Your home, when you go to your home, you are isolated from other. No, when you are in public, so you are isolated. Similarly, when you are creating your VPC, you are isolated. Fine. It permits custom access control and security settings. And now after few minutes, I'm going to talk on security as well. And it is bound to a single region. Please make a note of it. VPC can be created in a single region only. So where I created VPC in Mumbai. So I created in Mumbai. So it will be attached to a single region only. Fine. Now I explained you that I created VPC and I have chosen a CIDR this. So these are all private CIDRs, 10.0, 192.168, 172.31. And how many IPs are creating? I already proved you how it is coming from a formula 2 to the power 32 minus 16, which is nothing but 65,000. Now, what are subnets? Subnets are subset of VPC CIDR block, and which I've already proved you. So subnets are nothing but a subset of these CIDR. So this CIDR subsets, fine. So which I've already proved you and solved you also. Now, subnet CIDR block cannot overlap. Obviously, it will not overlap. You have you ever created a home like this where your one room is like this and second room is like this? No, we don't have a room like this. One room finishes, second room start from that after that. Similarly, you cannot overlap two subnets. No, each subnet reside in one availability zone. If you remember, when I was creating subnet, I was selecting availability zones. Now, so that is what these few points are there, and you can take a example of it. Now, a very important thing, 5 IP addresses are reserved. So actual formula is 2 to the power 32 minus whatever n, and then minus 5. Why, Parul, 5 IPs? General networking, we see 2 IPs are reserved, but here why 5 IPs? Because AWS reserved first IP for network, second IP for route, third for DNS, domain name system, fourth IP for future, and the last IP for broadcasting. So that is why if it is written also, I'm explaining you why 5. Now, I've already explained you. So what I did, I created a VPC and I created 2 subnets, one public subnet, one private subnet, and I've selected some CIDR having a range, whatever. It's up to you. You can create one subnet with complete full range. No, it's your land. If you in your complete land you want to create one room only, it's your choice. Now, route table. So if you remember, I told you that in public route table, we have 2 entry, one local and one internet gateway to go out. But private route table has only 1 entry. It can only talk locally. It cannot go outside. So it is, see, you can see public subnet is going outside. You can see link via internet gateway. And what is internet gateway? Internet gateway permit communication between instances in your VPC and internet. And what is route table? You can use route table to control where network traffic is directed. Obviously, you have a route table, you can define where you go, where you cannot go. Fine. So that is route table. Now comes VPC traffic security. So before, again, my way of teaching, again, I'll be going in a same manner. So let's go and talk in a same manner. So again, I'm going to going to talk on security with you. So what am I going to talk on security? What I did right now, I created SpringPeople VPC. Yes, Parul, you created SpringPeople VPC. I said there I created subnets. So I'm taking example of only one subnet. Okay. So I took example of only one subnet. So I'm taking example of one. So this is my VPC. Okay. This is my subnet. And inside my subnet, what do I do? Why I buy a land? Because I want to live there. So why am I creating a VPC isolated space? I want to put my resources. So let's say I'm putting my server in a subnet. So this is my server. So let me change the color of my pen so that I can explain you things very clearly. So let's say this is my server, and server in AWS is called EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute, EC2s. So I created one server. Fine. So I created one server. Now, in order to protect my server, I create one security group. So I am choosing one security group. So let's say this is my security group. So this is my security group. So this is security group. Fine. So this is security group. So when you will come and for this servers and all, you will come to know whenever you create e-servers, you have to have a security group. Not to worry, I'm going to show you. Not to worry. Wait, let me show you one server so that you have an understanding of it also. So let me show you this. So what I wanted to show you. So just give me 1 minute. Let me discard this. So what wanted to show you is server. So I wanted to show you a server. So what I did, I also created one server. You can see SpringPeople server. Where in Mumbai only. So if I click on this server, and if I copy the public IP of this server, I have given public IP as well. If I copy and if I enter. We are SpringPeople and it's our server running in Mumbai. Oh, that's great. Very good. But where I kept this server, you see this, you have a complete detail. So it is showing you that Parul, your server ID is this, what you did, you created, this is this in this VPC, your server is lying, this is your subnet ID. So everything it is telling me. So in this VPC, in this subnet, your server is lying. I said, okay, fine. Thank you so much for telling me about this. But what about this security group? So if you click on security, when you create server, you also create security group. So I created SpringPeople security group where I've opened two port 20 and port 80. Why port 80? How will I access this? If you all type in your browser, everyone, if you want, you can check it. You type in your browser 3.108.66.41. You can all access because I made access for all. So if you type in your browser, you can access this server of SpringPeople. So I did this for you. So what I did in my security group, I opened port 80. Why? Because I'm accessing this browser from because I'm accessing this server from browser, and for browser I need a protocol, HTTP protocol, HTTP, HTTPS, and HTTP is port 80. And if I have to remotely access this Linux server, I will be using SSH port 22. So port 22 is nothing but SSH for remote access of this server. So same thing I'm explaining you here, my dear friends. So this is security which I'm going to explain you here. Just give me 1 minute. Let me come back to my presentation. So okay, so this is my presentation where I was talking on. Yeah, okay. So what I did, I created, I have to create everything again. Yeah, no issues for you, anything. So I'm going to, what I did, I created a VPC. Yes, I created a VPC. Inside that VPC, I created a subnet. Now you know, you have seen everything. Inside this subnet, I have a EC2. So this is a server. EC2 is nothing but Elastic Compute Cloud server. Now this server I have protected with security group, which I've already shown you. So I protected this server with a security group, and this is called security group. So I'm writing with SG. So this is security group, and let me change the color and write everything. This is my VPC. This is my subnet, and inside my subnet I have a security group, and this is my server, SpringPeople server, SpringPeople server. Fine, which I've shown you. Now this is a subnet called public subnet. Public subnet. So what I did, how it made it become public. So what I did, I created. So what I did, how it is public. So I have a internet gateway which is attached here. Now, and in this internet gateway is, so this is SpringPeople internet gateway, and which is attached to this public subnet. Now, what is security, Parul, you are talking about? So there are two type of security. Let me discuss each with one by one. Let's say this is you, and I told you, you please hit a IP. So IP of this server is, let's say, 9.3.6.5, and from your browser you are hitting. So when your request started coming, so what it happened, you know, your request came like this. It came like this. It went to an internet gateway. The moment it touched subnet, so at subnet there is a firewall. At subnet there is a firewall, and that firewall is known as NACL, Network Access Control List, or it is called network ACL. So what is security? When your traffic comes in, so this is called inbound traffic. So when it is coming, it is checked over here. Hey, whether you are allowed or not. So the at subnet level we have a firewall. So very important question asked in interviews, in certification exams. So what is subnet level firewall? So subnet level firewall is nothing but NACL. So NACL is nothing but a subnet level firewall. Subnet level firewall. Subnet level firewall. Fine. And let's say subnet say, hey, you are allowed, you can go. Okay. When I came inside and when I hit subnet security group says, hey, we are only allowing two port, one port 22 and one port 80. Are you coming from that port? Are you coming from browser? Yeah, we are coming from browser. Okay, then you are allowed. So I entered and I hit SpringPeople server. Now here I have hit the server, but I have not got a response back. Fine. So what is this security group? So this is security group. Security group, the light blue color security group. So what is security group? Is a instance level firewall, or resource level, instance level firewall. Fine, very important to make a note of it. The first point of security group. Now when traffic goes out, so now this traffic is going to respond back to, so when it will come out, so again everywhere we have two rules, inbound rules and outbound rule. Here inbound rule is checked, you are allowed. So I'll go. Here also inbound rule is checked. You are allowed. I will went in. Go. I will come inside. Now when I'm going outside, outbound rule will be checked. Hey, you are allowed to go out. So if I'm allowed, I'll go out. Okay. So I'll go out. And again, I will meet one more person, one more firewall. It is again saying, hey, let me check you. You are allowed to out. If I am allowed, I will go out via internet gateway. And when you are now, if you are hitting, I don't know whether you have hit the server or not, you might have seen the same page. Yeah, which we are SpringPeople. So this is how traffic is flowing, and we have two security, NACL. So NACL is which is happening over here, and security group which is coming over here. Fine. So NACL and security group. But what is default nature of NACL, Parul? So if you don't do anything, so the please make a note of it. So the default nature of NACL is it allows all inbound and all outbound traffic. This is default nature. If you don't do anything, by default it allow all inbound and outbound traffic. But the default nature of security group is that it blocks all inbound traffic. It blocks all inbound traffic and allow all outbound traffic. Very important. Allow all outbound traffic. Very important. So if I go to security group does not allow anything default. You have to specify that which ports are open. So it blocks all inbound traffic, but allow all outbound traffic. So again, Parul, so much theory. Can you show this in a console? I'm here to show you everything on a console so that you have a proper understanding. We are not here to mug the things. We are here to understand the things practically. Let me keep everything and let me take you to the AWS console. When I take you to the AWS console, I showed you this security group. So this is SpringPeople security group. You can see that security groups, and the name of this security group is a SpringPeople security group, where I've opened two port 80 and port 22. Let me click on security group and let me prove this. And let me click on edit inbound rules. So as I said, there are two rules, inbound rules and outbound rules. So in inbound, it is only allowing port 22 and port 80, but in outbound, it is allowing all. So as I've shown you, as I've written, so what is security group? It blocks all inbound and allow all outbound. So I've proved. So outbound, all allowed. So it is allowing all. You can see, read this, all traffic allowed, all traffic. But inbound, it is blocking. It is allowing only the one which is mentioned. Let me click on edit inbound rules. Let me remove HTTP. Let me delete HTTP rule, and let me save the rule. Now, if you are following me and you are with me, I again say, if you have already hit this server, now if you try to hit this server, you will not be able to hit this server because port 22, port 80 is blocked. So you will see that page is not reachable. Just give me 1 minute, less than that. You will see that the port is not there. Since port is not there, oh my god, yes, I'm getting the same answer now. This is what I told you, my dear friend. This is what I told you. So what I did here, I opened port 80, but what I crossed port 80. So when I'm coming in, it is asking, hey, from which port you are coming? I coming from port 80, but port 80 is not allowed. Go back from here. So it will bounce back from here itself. Fine. And yes, it is in front of you. It is bouncing back. It is bouncing. Parul, I wanted to hit a server again. I said, please go to a security group. You go to a security group again and click on edit inbound rules. Okay. You add one rule. Which rule? HTTP. There are so many protocols. You open port HTTP, port 80, and from where I want every one of you to access my server. So I'm selecting anywhere, and let me click on save the rules. And now you again hit the server. You again hit the, yes, we are able to hit the server. Why? Because I have opened port 80. So this is some one security. But Parul, you were also talking about NACL, network ACL, network access control list. All these three things are same. Can you show me that also? I said, why not? Sure, I can show you everything, whatever I have a knowledge of. We are, nobody of us are god, but yes, we are here for learning. So let me click on instance. Okay, so this was our SpringPeople server. Very correct. Now Parul, what is NACL? I told you NACL is a subnet level firewall. Subnet level. So where I'll find subnet? So wherever you want, even in networking section, you can find a subnet. So you can see this is your subnet. So you click on subnet. Yes, Parul. Okay, fine. So you click on subnet. So, okay. So when I click on subnet, you again like subnet, you have so many things for subnet, which, so there is one thing called network ACL. Yes, Parul, network NACL. So NACL is there. So let me click on NACL, NACL. Let me click on NACL. So let me do one changes first. So because I need to make some changes so that I can show you from scratch. So let me remove this. So save changes and let me show you from scratch again. So what am I going to show you? Again, I'm showing you same thing. So what I'm going to show you, I went to instance, SpringPeople. I click on subnet. So this is my subnet. And what is NACL? Subnet level firewall. So what I did, I click on subnet and here is NACL, network ACL, network access control list. I click on that and you see that it has inbound and outbound rule. You see this rule number 100 is saying allow all traffic. And have I not written the same thing? What is default nature of NACL? It allows all inbound and all outbound traffic. It is allowing, by default it is allowing. So you see to inbound 100 rule number is saying allow all inbound and outbound rule is saying allow all outbound. But Paul, what is this star? I said forget about star. It is showing deny. I said okay, if you want, star means if no rule is matching. In NACL we have a rule number. If no rule is matching, then what you can do, you can deny. But here the rule number 100 is matching, so it is allowed. If you hit again, you are able to hit. But Parul, I want to block traffic from NACL also. I said, really you wanted to block? You wanted to learn this? Yeah, we are interested in learning this also, that how we can block traffic from NACL. I said, the 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 mantra for NACL is that the third which I'm writing, lower the rule, lower LOWER, lower the rule, higher the priority, higher the priority. This is mantra. Lower the rule, higher the priority means lower rule number will have higher priority. Can we see this? Why not? Yeah, this is your NACL. No, yes, NACL. Click on NACL. Yeah, so you click on NACL. So this is ACL. Yeah, when you click on ACL, yes. So you clicked on ACL. So this is your inbound rule. Yes, Parallel. So 100 rule number is saying allow all. Yes, but I wanted to block. So rule number 100 is saying all, but what do you want to block? Parallel, I want to block HTTP. So I say write any number which is less than 100. Parallel 99 will work. I said anything will work. Any number less than 100. So okay. So what do you want to block? Parallel, I want to block HTTP. I said okay. So click on HTTP. Okay. What do you want to do? I want to deny. I said okay. Then select deny and click on save changes. Now what is happening, when your traffic is coming, when your traffic is, my dear friend, coming, so at subnet here, when it will come here only, here it will be bounced back, because here port 80 is not allowed, because lower rule number has the higher priority and which is blocking. So lower rule number has the higher priority and which is blocking what inbound. You go to inbound rule, you see that rule number 98 is denying HTTP. Parul, can we check this? I said okay, why not? You press enter and I'm sure you will not be able to hit a server. You will not be able to hit a server. Now you are bounced back from subnet only. You are not able to touch, even security group is very far. You will not be able to touch even a subnet only. So just wait, 1, 2, yes, and 3. We are not able to reach. Parul, I wanted to reach. I said then you remove this rule, or you can add any rule less than that. So it's up to you. So okay, you remove this, you remove and save the changes. Okay, now if you go and you press enter, yeah, we are able to hit a server. Yes, so that is what NACL. And now coming back to presentation. So now you see this presentation. Have I not told you this? Tell me, have I not told you this? I created VPC. Absolutely correct, Parul. Then we at subnet level we have NACL, network ACL. So when traffic comes, it meets NACL first. Oh, whether you are allowed or not. So NACL first, and then it meets security group in order to touch server. Now, Parul, what is route table? So route tables are checked when whether the inbound traffic is allowed to go to internet gateway or not. So that is checked via a route table. So can we go with advanced networking, Parul? As Abhishek already mentioned that we are going to, yeah, I'll show you advanced networking. So yeah, please, if you can show us advanced networking. I said, you really wanted to see? I said, okay, then what you can do troubleshooting. So yeah, please show the start troubleshooting also. I said, okay. So what you can do, you can go to a service called VPC Reachability Analyzer. You can go to a service called VPC Reachability Analyzer. As we are able to hit the server, and I'm going to prove this. So I'm going to prove you from scratch. Yeah, please. So you go to VPC Reachability Analyzer. When you go to VPC Reachability Analyzer, when you click on it and you click on a new tab, okay. So Parul, what we can do, I said, wait and watch. Okay. So here I already created one path. I am going to create an analyzer path. Okay. What path, Parul? I said it's SpringPeople path. SpringPeople path. PATH is SpringPeople server path. Server path. Okay. Then Parul, what is source type? I said source is my instance, means my EC2. EC2 is an instance. Which instance, Parul? SpringPeople server. Okay, yeah, SpringPeople. See, I'm selecting SpringPeople server. Okay. And what do you want to check? I wanted to check whether I'm able to go to internet gateway or not. So which internet gateway? So let me click on internet gateway. Internet gateway. So which internet gateway? So internet gateway, this internet gateway 3E10 is the internet gateway which is attached to my VPC. Okay, let me go and click on create analyze the path. Now it is pending, and you see the beauty, of advance. So just give me 1 minute. It is taking a time to analyze the path. Let me refresh, and it's saying yes, Parul. From inside, it is saying that Parul. I said yes. From inside, I said okay. So from server you created, Parul. I said okay. So from server you created, Parul, you are able to go to internet gateway. I said how? Can you show me the complete path? Yes, Parul. Scroll down. No. I said okay. I can see a path. Very nice. This is my SpringPeople server. I came from network interface card, NIC card, ENIs, which is called in AWS. Then I met security group, and I told you security group outbound rule allow all traffic. Yeah. So it allowed NACL rule number 100 allow all traffic 100% Parul. In route table public subnet, no, it has a route table entry also. Yes, Parul, route table entry is there, and I'm able to reach internet gateway, and that's great. That's proofs. Okay, we can do a troubleshooting. Let's say you are in an industry environment and you are not able to do something. You may analyze the path. You may troubleshoot the things, which can help you to analyze the things very clearly. It was not mentioned in the agenda, but since Abhishek told that we are going to talk on advanced architecting networking, I thought I shall be showing you something, a very good picture. Now you go and read the PPTs. PPTs are always for reading purpose only. So what is NACL? NACL is act as firewall for subnet. That's correct. By default, it allows all inbound and outbound. That's absolutely correct. It evaluate rule from lower number. That's absolutely correct. Security group. Security group is a virtual firewall that controls inbound and outbound traffic. Absolutely correct. And it allow traffic from a port or protocol only. Very correct. So this is where we talked on. So let's have a quick recap of today's session. So we talked today we started from IP addressing, then we moved to CIDR, then we moved to VPC, and in VPC we talked on different component like subnets. We talked on both public and private subnet, public and private subnet. We talked on internet gateway. We talked on route tables. After having a complete knowledge on this, then we talked on VPC security. And in VPC security, I talked two things. One, I talked NACL, Network Access Control List, or Network ACL, whatever you want. And then we talked on security group. Again, I'm saying NACL is a subnet level firewall, security group is a resource level firewall. And then finally, I show you a beauty of advanced networking, VPC reachability analyzer. Fine. And I started sharp at 4 and I'm completing sharp at 5 as per the given discussion, and it's 5 now. Thank you so much. It's over from my side, Abhishek.
Thank you, Parul, for your
Yep.
invaluable insights on technology.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
sure I'm sure it was certainly a very informative session for all of you. If you guys are interested in learning more about various networking in AWS, do check out our super discounted batches of virtual instructor-led trainings on our website, springpeople.com. These VILT trainings are leveraged online from the comforts of your home and flexible as per your schedule and location. If you do not find any suitable batches, we would be happy to discuss and schedule private batches for you. If you don't have time to join live online, then do try out our affordable self-paced courses. For more information, do write to us at training@springpeople.com or call on our number displayed on the current slide. Now we will open the forum to answer questions that we have received during the session. So let's get our questions answered. Over to you, Mr. Parul.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me see what questions we have. There's, I think, let me see the chats. Yeah, there's no question right now. Anybody, you have any question, you can post your question. A non-technical question is session recorded, is from Ashish. Any other questions you have? Hi, Abhishek, if I'm not wrong, we don't have any question right now. Am I correct?
Yes, kindly. Dear all participants, if you have any
Yeah.
questions, kindly post in the question box.
Is it possible to check the traffic flow? I mean, live traffic. Is it possible to check? That is what we were checking, the live traffic flow, no? And yes, we have different methods too. Yes.
I hope it was a very insightful webinar that we had. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here, and we shall be sending out the webinar recording to all the participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team Spring People. And thank you, Mr. Parul Kundra, as well. Hope to see you
Thank
guys
you, Abhishek.
again. Hope to see you guys again for our next expert webinar. Thank you and goodbye.